What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, man. Once again, we're going to do, this is not a double ISY. I've already done an updated video on the Samsung Galaxy S7 and pretty much how it holds up in 2019, but I kind of wanted to reiterate some points as to why the Samsung Galaxy S7 is still like an amazing phone, why it's still probably worth it for a lot of people. And if you're not one of those people who have like hundreds and hundreds, maybe $1,000 to spend on a phone, you can at least resort back to something like this and even use a phone of this caliber. Now, my voice is a little weird here and there. And I did an iPhone 6s video yesterday, like the top 5 reasons to get it. This might be one of those videos as well, but it's more so a little bit different. I came up with about 5 or 6 reasons as to why the Samsung Galaxy S7 is still an awesome phone, but if you want a more in-depth review, you can always watch that double ISY that I did earlier this year. But one of the biggest reasons and one of the most amazing things about the Samsung Galaxy S7 would still be the screen, man. The screen, depending on the, quality of panel you get, because these things are used and because it is an OLED, there can be burn-in and all that stuff, but it has a 5.1 inch Super AMOLED display. It's 1440p, man, and what I can tell you is this is one of the strongest aspects of the Samsung Galaxy S7. It has such an amazing display. Even still, most panels are still only 1440p, which is still a lot. I'm saying only, but even like the Pixel 3a that just came out for $400, that thing has a 1080p panel, and I would say this panel on this one is probably better than that one. I mean, this one has 577 pixels per inch. It is a very, very sharp panel for the price that you're getting it at. And don't forget, this was one time a flagship phone, so that is a pretty crazy thing in my opinion. Now the next thing is also kind of related to that as well. It would be the build quality. The Samsung Galaxy S7 is still an amazingly built phone. You have glass on the front, very, very premium glass, and also glass on the back, and it just gives it such an amazing feel, and it doesn't feel like a cheap phone, especially when you're using it day to day. I mean, most phones that come out now, like even the 3a, like I just compared them a second ago, the Google Pixel 3a and the Samsung Galaxy S7, between both of them, the S7 feels way more premium. You're also getting glass on the back. It just literally feels still like a flagship phone, which is amazing, and that's a super good quality to have when you're picking up a used phone. You don't want to pick up a phone that feels extremely cheap. A phone like this, you can tell it's literally just screams quality in my opinion. Now the next thing would actually be a little bit controversial for some people, and it's actually the root and custom ROM ability of a phone like this. Now depending on which variant you get, I think most of the variants of the Samsung Galaxy S7 are able to be rooted and ROMmed. In a case like this, I've seen a lot of Android Pie ROMs for this thing, a lot of Android Oreo ROMs for this thing as well, and even though this phone is already unsupported with Android, it's not a phone that you need to be stuck with that specific version. You can always go and upgrade it, and that's one thing I would definitely recommend. This phone, in my opinion, is an extremely well-built phone in terms of longevity of it, and because of that, once Android Q comes out officially, there's probably going to be Android Q ROMs for this thing as well. So if you're comfortable with custom ROMing your phone, I would highly recommend it, and that's another pro for this phone, definitely. The next thing would also be the speed. That this phone does not feel like a slow phone at all. I mean, it doesn't have like the greatest specs in the world comparing to phones nowadays, but you do have the Exynos 8890 octa chipset, an octa-core CPU with 4 gigs of RAM, and that is a pretty decently fast phone. I mean, the Pixel 3a, to compare yet again, that thing only has 4 gigs of RAM too, and this phone, in my opinion, is still extremely capable of handling most tasks you're going to throw at it. It's not going to be able to handle everything. Like if you go and try to do like way more multitasking than you can, then obviously they're going to run into problems, but with a case like this phone is still an extremely fast phone. Now the next thing is the SD card slot. This phone still manages to have an SD card slot over all these years that Samsung tried to eliminate it with the S6. They eventually did put it back in with the S7, so if you're wanting to get the base model of this phone, you can go ahead and do that. But this phone does have the SD card slot expansion, micro SD at that, so you can always go and expand the storage like that, and that is freaking awesome. Now this last bonus thing is kind of a 2-part thing, so it's actually more of like a 3-part thing. So you have not only the fingerprint sensor, but you still have the headphone jack, and you also have wireless charging on this phone. And for a phone like the Google Pixel 3a, it does have the headphone jack and fingerprint sensor, but it does not have wireless charging, whereas a phone that came out all the way many years ago has that capability, and that is super amazing yet again. So in a case like this, I will definitely tell you the Samsung Galaxy S7 is definitely an amazing phone, no doubt. Is it the perfect phone in 2019? Obviously not, but it still has quite a bit of life left in it, and I still think the Samsung Galaxy S7 is an amazing phone in 2019. If you want to pick up a Galaxy S7, I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description below. It'll be the first link down there. Every single sale that goes through that link, a little bit of that revenue comes back to the channel, and we can do more videos like this, some more comparisons, some more giveaways. So it'll mean so much if you guys could hit that, but that is pretty much it. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, leave it down in the comment section as well. Hit that like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. All those links are linked down below. I would really appreciate it if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. And hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.